Last Monday night, we had one of the most competitive races that we'll have all year on the channel over at the Armory Digital Super Speedway. 8 lead changes in the last 2 laps, leading to Carson Miller getting his first race victory in the BodyArmor Pro Series. We eliminated 8 drivers from the in-season tournament as well, and tonight here at the Oregon International Speedway, we head into the quarterfinals of the in-season tournament for the BodyArmor Pro Series. Who will advance on between Blaine Keys, Ace Garcia, Audra Baranowskis, Nathan Stapleton, Lauren Martinez, Nicholas Sambadio, and Andrew Miller, Logan Williams. It's 42 laps here around this 1.5 mile in Woodburn, Oregon. It's the Oregon International Speedway and the Oregon 100K. Let's see who gets it done in the 8th race of the season in the 2025 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Oregon International Speedway for race number 8 of the 2025 BodyArmor Pro Series. It's Pro Series night in America. It's the quarterfinal round for the in-season tournament in the BodyArmor Pro Series as well. Blaine Keys and Ace Garcia facing off, which if you saw the first race, I know you remember that one, Daniel. Those two got into each other there at South Boston. They're facing off each other here today. Audra Baranowskis and Nathan Stapleton, Lauren Martinez and Nicholas Sambadio, Andrew Miller and Logan Williams, and on to the semifinals next week at Hillside between those drivers there. But here in Oregon, this place races a little bit like a super speedway. It is old Atlanta, reskinned to be in the Pacific Northwest. A great track redone by Trey Wright, an idea from Brennan Wilmington. We love coming here. And Daniel, you've never seen a race here before at this racetrack. What are you expecting here today? These 24 drivers and 42 laps around this 1.5-mile racetrack.
Well, I am expecting a really good, fun race. But, you know, I've never been here at Oregon before, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. But, you know, these drivers are very competitive, so I think they're going to put on a great show.
And it's going to be a competitive race. It was a competitive race in this race last year when Matt Tuck went to victory lane in this Oregon 100K last September. This race now in the month of May. And hey, it's the month of May. We're closing in on the Indy 250 in just about 2.5 weeks, so we're excited about that. But tonight's the focus on the in-season tournament and, of course, in this championship battle as well. But here is the bracket coming into this race. As we mentioned, it's Blaine Keys versus Ace Garcia there. Of course, Blaine Keys still the points leader here, but he only has it by 4 points over Logan Williams. Ace Garcia definitely an underdog in this, and he's got a great opportunity to upset Blaine here tonight. Only downside for Ace, he starts all the way back in 23rd, while Blaine starts 6th. Audra Baranowskis and Nathan Stapleton, another upset pick here with Audra Baranowskis beating Stuart Gratton last week at Armory Digital. Nathan Stapleton, not as much of a surprise as a driver, though he has not had the best of seasons in points, though he does sit 9th in the standings coming into this race now. Lauren Martinez and Nicholas Sambadio, great run for Lauren Martinez, beating Sergio Alonso last week, and of course Mr. Edge with the upset, in a way, ahead of Matt Tuck at Armory Digital last week. Good run for Nicholas. And then Andrew Miller and Logan Williams there in the 4th matchup. And remember what Andrew said at the end of the Thanksgiving 500. I mentioned this last week as well. He's going after Blaine Keys. We could very well see Blaine Keys and Andrew Miller face off in the Indy 100K 2 weeks from tonight. That'll be a lot of fun if that ends up being the case. But there are a lot of great matchups that we can have for the championship in this in-season tournament 2 weeks from now at Indy. Going to be fun to see how it all goes down. Here's that lineup in the standings coming into this one. Blaine Keys has a 4-point lead on Logan Williams. Logan Williams has been excellent this season. As a matter of fact, he has a better average finishing position than Blaine Keys up to this point with 3 1/3 in the 6 races that he's been in. Granted, too, that isn't entirely accurate because some of these guys have made it to the feature of every race. Some of them missed a feature. So the amount of starts that they have is not accurate for the entire field. It's a little off there, but it's all about the points right there, and it's a 4-point lead there for Blaine Keys ahead of Logan Williams. Matt Tuck is 40 points behind, Leonard Kochmer 43 behind, and Stuart Gratton 49 behind. Still plenty left to go in the season. All 3 of those guys were eliminated from the in-season tournament, so they're just focused on getting points here tonight at the Oregon International Speedway. It's Matthew Hubert starting on the pole position in the number 15 machine, and that was Trey Wright's pick last week at Armory Digital. We'll see if he ends up getting the win here today. Matt Tuck's alongside him there in the front row. How about Juan Romero? Great run, great lap at Armory Digital. And of course, the way that race went, all these guys just went all over the place in terms of the fastest laps. But Logan Williams, second in points there, starts in the 4th position. How about Ludovic Schredt and Blaine Keys, the 2 drivers that went after it in the Wawa Cup Series last year? Neither of them have yet to go to victory lane in the Wawa Cup Series up to this point, though. They start in the 3rd third row. Audra Baranowskis and Nathan Stapleton, they face off against each other in this in-season tournament, and they're alongside each other. They're in row number 4. LJ Semedo and Herja Alonso there in row 5. So some of the other drivers who are in this in-season tournament that we'll be focusing on here today. Andrew Miller facing off against Logan Williams, has some ground to make up to catch up to that 83 machine. Nicholas Samedeo and Lauren Martinez are very close to each other right there as well, with Samedeo starting there in the 18th position alongside the 78 of Andrew Miller. Actually, I'm sorry, Samedeo's in the 16th position alongside Andrew Miller, and then Lauren Martinez there in the 17th position. And then Ace Garcia, who's facing off against Blaine Keys, all the way in the back of the field there in the number 2. Has a little ways to go to catch up to the number 14. We'll see what he can do in 42 laps. Let's go ahead and get these drives to roll off here from the Oregon International Speedway. And Daniel, you got a good chance to check the field out here at Oregon. Who do you think has got the best shot at winning this Oregon 100K here tonight?
Well, you know, you see Matthew Huber and Matthew Huber and Matt Tuck, you know, they're on the front row looking very good. But I'm going to go all the way to the back of the pack here. I'm going to look at Ace Garcia. I think he's going to be very strong. It could be anyone's race. It's Oregon. I don't know what to expect, but I think he's got a good shot.
We'll have to see if he can do so from the 23rd starting position. And, of course, if he wins, he's going to beat Blaine Keys and knock Blaine Keys out of the tournament. And the way this season started out, we all thought Blaine Keys was going to win the championship. Well, now here we are, race number 8, and Blaine only has a 4-point lead and could lose it to Logan Williams at the end of the race. And it could be Blaine Keys versus Logan Williams at Indy for the in-season tournament championship. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But there are a lot of other folks in this field that want to get the race victory that they don't even have any stake in that in-season tournament. And Carson Miller was the case last week. He was not in the in-season tournament, did not have enough points, and matter of fact, got his only points of the season so far in that race victory last week at Armory Digital. We'll see if that ends up happening with someone like Matthew Hubert or Juan Romero. But the pace car is going to pull off. Matthew Hubert and Matt Tuck on the front row. Matt Tuck looking to defend his Oregon 100K victory. As they come across the line, we're green flag racing once again in the Pacific Northwest for the second race of the in-season tournament. Juan Romero getting a nose to the inside, but it will be Matthew Hubert leading lap number 1 here at the Oregon International Speedway. There's no bonus points for leading laps in the series. It's all about getting a top 10 finish, and only the top 10 finishers receive championship points. Ladovic Charette looking to move her way to the inside of Juan Romero. Audra Baranowskis as well. Baranowskis trying to defeat Nathan Stapleton to advance her way into the next round of the in-season tournament. That'll be a bit of an upset pick in this tournament right now. We got some movement back in here. Jack Haas trying to make a 3-wide there on Lauren Martinez and Nicholas Samedeo, and both Samedeo and Martinez battling each other in this in-season tournament. A great battle back there, and a lot of great racing so far as Ladovic Charette leads the field here on lap number 3.
Looking like this inside line is the more preferred line, but it looks like to me that we're going to have a lot more passes for the lead here. As you see the 94 getting a small little run here off of the corner.
LJ Semedo, definitely a driver who would love to go to victory lane at some point this season. Has not been the best of starts to his season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series or in the Wall Cup Series for that matter. LJ sits 23rd in the standings, only 6 total points on the season. But a solid run for him right now. Here comes Stuart Gratton in the 35 machine. Got knocked out last week by Audra Baranowskis. Well, he's beating Audra now in this race, but a little too late for that. Andrew Miller has had a great run in the Wall Cup Series as of late. Gonna move to the inside of Gratton. Here comes Semedo for the race lead to the inside of Ladovic Charette.
Still looking pretty strong here. Getting that run off of turn 2. Is gonna clear for the lead.
Semedo's going to be able to get to the 00 Ladovic Charette, just finding her 3 wide back here. How about Rogaldorn in the 4? Only one win, only one time that Rogel has pointed this season, and that was at Willow Springs. Only 25 total points on the year. Did not advance on against Ace Garcia last week at Armory Digital, but got an opportunity, a second win of the season here. He's up to the 3rd position. Here comes Matt Tuck, who won this race last year. driving for the 79 team in the Hers colors. I was really happy about that. No more Hers colors in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Gonna miss that. But Thomas Troxel, he went up against Blaine Keys last week, could not defeat him. Nathan Stapleton has gotten around Audra Baranowskis and Stapleton in position to advance. And how about Ace Garcia, who is currently ahead of Blaine Keys right now in that matchup. Sam Medeo still ahead of Martinez, and Andrew Miller has it ahead of Logan Williams right now. But that could very easily change as this race goes along, as Rogel Dorn goes to the inside of LJ Sameto for the race lead here on lap 7.
And look at right behind Rogel Dorn, you have the 00 Ludovic Charette going to make a pass here for second on the 94. Well, Rogel Dorn leading the way here.
A good run for Rogel in this race. Of course, Rogel's very much known to be a great speedway racer. Won the Coke 600 last year in the Wah Cup Series. Dominated that race last year. He has not had the car in the Wah Cup Series this season to really contend for a lot of these wins, but he's got a great opportunity in the Pro Series, and hey, he's going to be driving for Team Velocistar in the Truck Series this fall, and I know you know a lot about driving for Team Velocistar, Daniel, as you drive for them in the Cup Series, and you have had some pretty good success this season over there in the Wah Cup Series as well. Andrew Miller has also had success, winner at Rockingham in the Wah Cup Series a couple weeks ago, and here he is running third, trying to defeat Logan Williams, who advanced on in the in-season tournament. And right now, as they run, he would face Nicholas Samedillo there in the semifinal round. And Ace Garcia's got it on Blaine Keys, as Blaine has fallen all the way to the back of the field there in 23rd. And it would be Ace Garcia and Nathan Stapleton against each other in the semifinal round. So very unique matchup right there. And they're jamming up right here. You got Stapleton trying to lead this inside lane to the inside of Troxel. You got Logan Williams there as well, Jack Haas. Got Andrew Miller taking second away from Ludovic Charette. This 78's looking really fast here today at the Oregon International Speedway.
I for sure thought almost a lap ago that they were going to go 3 wide in turns 4, but here they are 3 wide in turn 4 as I'm literally saying it. Right now, as you see the 21 of Carson Miller right in the middle there. I don't know if you want to be 3 wide here.
We went this race without a caution last year, but that does not mean that we'll get one. We won't get one here today, and these guys are very racy in the back of the field right here. Carson Miller, Leonard Kochman there, Thomas Troxel, all trying to get themselves in the points right now, and Carson Miller just inside the points as they get around Troxel. How about Isaac Nichols making a move there on Ace Garcia? Garcia's got to be careful not to let Blaine Keys get back into this thing. He's got an opportunity of making it into that semifinal round in the in-season tournament here today, and he is trying to work his way on the inside lane the best that he can. Stapleton now stuck on the outside lane right here. He's got to be careful not to let Audra Baranowska says they were really close there between Sam Medeo and Hubert. That was very tight, and around they go! And Nicholas and Hubert are in the outside wall. And the caution is out here on lap number 12 at the Oregon International Speedway. Oh my.
And there it goes. Significant damage there to the 48 and the 15.
Nicholas in the in-season tournament trying to defeat Lauren Martinez, just got caught up in that accident there with Matthew Hubert. And Nicholas is not going to be happy with the 15 after that one. He just got squeezed in the outside wall there. Oh, brother.
Wow.
It's not been a good season for Nicholas in the BodyArmor Pro Series. I mean, he's 12th in points, but he only has 23 total points. He's 74 points behind. There are only 11 drivers in the field who have a race win worth of points or more at this point in the season. And we've had 7 races up to this point, so guys who have been good. Blaine Keys, one of those guys, has not been good recently. He's still outside the top 10 in the field and currently being beat in the in-season tournament. That was good for Lauren Martinez, however, Nicholas will still be in this thing in the 48, even though he has some damage. We'll have to see if that affects him as we get back to racing. Well, let's see what happened to bring out the caution here in the Oregon 100K. And get back to racing here on the 8th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
Yeah, he sent it in there on Matthew Hubert.
He did. Blaine Keys on the 14. Driving it into the corner there in turns 1 and 2. He overdrove it. Blaine lost the entry and got into Hubert, and both Hubert and Sam Medeo were, especially Sam Medeo, trying to give Blaine as much room as he could. Now, at that point, and this is what we saw initially, we thought they were going to get out of it all right. But as they head down the backstretch here, 15 and the 48. We'll see if we get a different angle of this, kind of get an idea of just how close they were.
Wow.
They close back in there, and Hubert, yeah, they just get too close to each other, and Hubert gets into that 48 machine. And they just squeeze it right into the outside wall. Just no room for him to go. And then both the 15 and the 48, they'll still be able to continue in this race. But for San Mateo's case, trying to beat Lauren Martinez in the in-season tournament, that is not going to help him, because you see Martinez drive right by the 48 machine right there into the outside wall. Around goes the 15 and the 48 machine. And that right there is your caution here for the 48 machine of Nicholas San Mateo and the 15 of Matthew Hubert. It was all started by Blaine Keats in the 14, who bumped up into these guys in turns 1 and 2, and it took a while for them to come back around. But thankfully, it wasn't a major accident, and these guys will still be able to continue, but that damage might hurt them aerodynamically once we get back around to it, so we'll see how that ends up being the case.
Yeah, you see right there, the 14 of Blaine Keys dives it into turn 1, slides up, rear gets loose, smashes into the 15 of Matthew Hubert, and he just gets squeezes into the outside wall here off of turn 2, and there's just no more room, and it just sends the 48 and 15 around. Unfortunately, it did affect the race a little bit, but should be fine.
We'll have to see how it ends up shaking out for both of those guys. Let's see how it shakes out for the rest of the field. We're going to have a restart here at Oregon with Rogal Doran leading the field in the number 4. Let's see what he does on said restart here in the Oregon 100K. We're back here at the Oregon International Speedway, Woodburn, Oregon, here for the 8th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series 2025 in-season tournament action, and there's some action going on in that tournament. Nicholas San Mateo facing off against Lauren Martinez here today, getting caught up in that accident with Matthew Hubert, and that 48 machine currently last. Everybody is still on the lead lap, but we'll have to see. That damage is a bit too much for him to be able to surpass that 41 machine. Rogal Doran's your race leader in the number 4, followed by Ludovic Charette, LJ Cimento, Andrew Miller, and Logan Williams, who is trying to take the points lead. The way they currently run, he would be the points leader going into Hillside next week, which is a huge advantage for Logan if he can pull it off. Also got Jack Haas, Nathan Stapleton currently beating Audra Baranowskis in his battle with her. Leonard Koshmer, Isaac Nichols, Carson Miller, and Ace Garcia knocking on the door of a top 10, and looking to beat Blaine Keys to advance on to the semifinals of the in-season tournament. Back to racing here at Oregon, and Rogal Doran with a good jump there. But as we have seen, Daniel, this racetrack is racing a lot like a super speedway, and these guys have been able to stay right on each other pretty much this entire race.
It does, and you can see drivers changing lanes, going 3 wide, getting runs here. Look at Ludovic Charette here, looking to the inside of Rogal Doran. She's getting a run right now on the 4. Now what she's going to do is she's going to want to try to side draft the 4. As you see the 78 of Miller now hopping down the inside. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see drivers changing lanes, trying to get those runs to potentially get the lead here.
And that's what Andrew Miller is doing. That's the other Miller in the field, Andrew Miller. It was Carson Miller who won last week. We got Andrew Miller who might win this week. And how about Jack Haas in the 57? The guy to watch out for. He was the guy that actually got beat by Andrew Miller last week at Armory Digital in the first round, and you see in that 78 right in front of him, and he would love to get a race victory, especially after what happened to him at Texas in the Wawa Cup Series the other day. That was a close one for him there. Rogal Doran there in second. Andrew Miller is now third. Rogal and Charette have had a great race. Ludovic Charette missed the in-season tournament. She did not have a good first 6 races. She missed the in-season tournament, of course. One of the best drivers we've got in the series, and she's 20th in the points, only 11 total points on the season, but she's got an opportunity of winning here today. And Andrew Miller, you were talking on the break, Daniel, you were looking at Andrew Miller. That 78 is really quick. Rogal Doran taking the lead back away here on lap number 19.
And not too far back, look who's in the top 10. I mean, it's the 2 of Ace Garcia making his way up through the field, started really far back in the pack, but like I said, watch this 2 car because he's really good at these types of speedways, and you see him right there passing the 46.
Ace Garcia definitely got to watch out for here in this one because he's looking to beat Blaine Keys in this in-season tournament and get his way into that semifinal round. He's got an opportunity of winning this tournament. That's definitely a big task for someone who's 14th in the standings. We'll see if he can do it, and Blaine's just not had a good race. Neither has Audra Baranowskis, and as for our other one, San Mateo still has a shot. Hubert's the one who's off the pace. San Mateo's hanging on. He's with Drew Webb right here. He can see Lauren Martinez just ahead of him. But Lauren Martinez barely hanging on by a thread right now over that 48 for that last spot there. Moving on into the semifinal round. They're 3 wide again.
3 wide.
Carson Miller, Jack Haas, Nathan Stapleton. Stapleton's got a good gap between him and Baranowskis at this point, but he's got to be careful not to get caught in an accident like Nicholas Samadillo did. Here comes Alonso with a huge head of steam on the inside of Kochmer. Some great racing here at Oregon. Alonso almost just completely taking that 46 out going into the corner right there. These guys are losing, and they're 4 wide.
Whoa,
That's Logan Williams, Andrew Miller, LJ Semedo, and again! And this time Miller and Williams get caught up, and it's a big wreck going into turn number 3. Upside down goes Andrew Miller. Oh my goodness. Semedo's caught up. Alonso, Carson Miller is destroyed. Thomas Troxel, Matthew Hubert as well getting caught up at the end of that one, and a big one in the turn 3 here at Oregon. Logan Williams has some damage, but he's going to be able to finish ahead of Andrew Miller in this one and move on to the semifinals after Miller went flipping through the air, and they went 4 wide here at Oregon.
It could potentially work, but in this case, it did not work here. At Oregon, but I mean, a lot of damaged race cars here, and literally half of the field at this point, and you know, a lot of strong drivers involved in this wreck.
And yeah, to your point there, Daniel, a lot of strong drivers. We had race-winning cars caught up in this one, like Andrew Miller. LJ Semedo was up there, had a great opportunity of winning this race. Well, Logan got caught up, but the good news for Logan in terms of the in-season tournament is he will defeat Andrew Miller here today. Andrew's not going to get back out there, and Logan will win that matchup. Stapleton, I don't think, got caught up, and neither did Baranowskis, and that might be the last matchup we have where neither guy was caught up. Well, Ace Garcia and Blaine Keys are right on each other, and they're both still with clean cars, and Samadillo's going to have a chance on Martinez on another restart right here. LJ Semedo is junk in the 94. Matthew Hubert, I think he orca braked into that at the end. Leonard Kochmer, Alonso with heavy damage. And lap traffic could become a factor in this race. And yeah, it's like Talladega a couple weeks ago when we had that massive accident, and then the whole race was just lap traffic. And that's what happened in the real-life Cup race. Lap traffic got in the way in the real-life Cup race. I think our race was still better, which is not saying a lot about the real-life product, but that's why we do NR 2003. We have a lot of fun with this, and we're having a lot of fun here tonight in this Oregon 100K. Andrew Miller's not having any fun. He went flipping in the turn number 3. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution here for the second time tonight, the Oregon International Speedway. Logan Williams in the 83. Shooting up just a little bit, and it's a lot like when we're at Daytona. It's that second car in line that generally causes situations like this, and Logan opened the door up for Isaac Nichols to get to the inside, and they were 4 wide off the exit of turn number 2. Andrew Miller and LJ Semedo bump off each other, and it's just like it was with Hubert and Samadillo a few laps ago. Logan actually bumping back up into Miller, and Miller having nowhere to go, and then clipping Logan. Logan actually getting shot to the outside wall right there, and then getting in the Isaac Nichols is a hard hit for the 88 machine. Oh, brother. Very hard hit for the 88 machine. We did not see that. And then further up, LJ Semedo up in the Carson Miller, Andrew Miller sliding up in the Thomas Troxel. They wash back up the field, Alonso's around, and then upside down goes the 78 machine of Andrew Miller, who had an opportunity at beating Logan Williams in the in-season tournament. He is not going to have that opportunity. He is not going to have the opportunity at getting the Blaine Keys in this in-season tournament either. Samadillo got a slight piece of that one. Kochmer all torn up. Alonso in the 23. Carson Miller, last week's winner, all destroyed as well. LJ Semedo in the 94. He had a great run going, and he's going to get taken out. It's a tough break for all those guys involved. And a big wreck there going in the turn number 3 here at the Oregon International Speedway.
You're seeing Andrew Miller there going 4 wide, and you see the 83 also just come off the wall there, off of turn 2, hits the 88 hard into the driver's side door, and I mean, cars flipping everywhere. It was just one of those moments where you can't go 4 wide off of turn 2 because it just gets so tight coming off of 2, and unfortunately it caused the big one. And Matthew Hubert just comes flying in.
Yeah, we didn't catch that either. That's a tough break for him right there.
I did not see that.
Yeah. That was the end of it. He teleported while he was midair. I don't know if we've ever seen that before. He teleported midair.
I never seen that.
I don't think we've ever had that. All right, well, Rogaldorn's going to have an even better opportunity now that he has some of the stronger drivers out of the race, but he still has Ladovic right behind him. Logan Williams is still third, even though he got caught up in that one. Jack Haas, Nathan Stapleton, that's the top five. Let's go ahead and get to the restart here at the Oregon International Speedway. And we're back once again here at the Oregon International Speedway, Woodburn, Oregon. And I'm excited to see how this one ends up shaking out, because we're going to have ourselves an interesting race with a lot of these guys getting knocked out from that accident. Thomas Troxel, Carson Miller, last week's winner, Andrew Miller, who had a very good chance at beating Logan Williams in his matchup. He will not get an opportunity to do so, and Logan Williams will advance on the hillside. Isaac Nichols and the 35 machine there. Definitely a tough break for all those guys involved, no doubt about it, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of this race ends up shaking out. And yeah, that's Stuart Grattan out of the race there in the 35 machine. It's a tough break for him. Actually, was he caught up in that, or did he have a prior incident? You guys will have seen that already. It's Rogaldorn, Ladovic, Charette, Logan Williams, Jack Haas, Nathan Stapleton. Keep in mind that Logan does have some damage from that accident. So does Jack Haas in the 57. That's probably going to allow Ladovic and Rogel to pull away a little bit here, but opportunity for guys like Nathan Stapleton and Ace Garcia especially. He's got to go because Blaine Keys only 2 positions behind him now at this point, and he's got an opportunity to beat Blaine Keys and move on to the next round of the in-season tournament. We'll see if he can hold him off. He's getting held up right now by Logan and Jack. These guys holding these guys up, and Ladovic and Rogel are pulling away.
And you can see the damaged cars. They're going to start falling back through the pack. But I mean, look at Ace Garcia. I mean, up in the top 5, competing here for this win. We're already on lap 27 out of 42. It's going by very quickly, but you're still seeing these drivers, even though there's big wrecks going on, they're still making these moves to try to move forward.
And how about we've gone this whole race without mentioning Brennan's driver, Vinny Scholes in the 64, who's inside the top 10 here, looking to get this win. This is Brennan's track. You know, this is the main track, at least I think the main track of his Lumen Stock Car Invitational, his NR project, and we love coming here for the BodyArmor Pro Series, and Brennan loves to see Ladovic, or not Ladovic, that's the rival driver over there in the Walla Cup Series for this guys at Pacific Racing. Vinny Scholes run well here in the 64 machine, and Audrey Baranauskas just got around Nathan Stapleton in that matchup. And Baranauskas is pulling away now from the 63, and Lauren Martinez still holding on ahead of Nicholas Samadeo, but this 48 still in this, trying to get to that 41 machine, have an opportunity at racing his way to the next round. Rogaldorn has pulled away in this number 4. Ladovic tried a second. Third place is Ace Garcia with Blaine Keys right behind him.
And talking about Blaine Keys, you know, AG Blaine Keys was in the back of the pack. Really haven't seen him up here in the front ever since this big accident that literally just occurred. But now it kind of helped him in a sort of way, because now he's up here competing in the top 10.
And, you know, Blaine Keys is a guy that, you know, we really think could win this championship the way he started off the season. Past couple of races have not been the best for him, but he's got an opportunity here. He may actually have an opportunity of getting this win, dare I say. And he's trying to close in, get around Ace Garcia, move on to the next round of the tournament, and also hold on to that points lead. And he's got a great opportunity of doing that, because Logan's going to fall outside the top 10 right here. Nathan also has damage, I think, in the 63 machine, because he's off the pace. As Nicholas Samadeo trying to get around him right there. Lauren Martinez trying to get around Logan Williams. It's a tough break there for Nathan, who is not going to necessarily have the best opportunity. Of course, it's not over yet. Baranauskas is going to get shoved to the outside lane by Justin Zidell. Guad Romero's got a shot at getting some points, and Matt Tuck's still very much in this thing as well. It's going to be a close battle between some of these guys in the back, including this one. Blaine Keys to the inside of Ace Garcia for the 3rd position, and Blaine's going to take that spot away from Ace and take the spot away for now to advance on to the next round of the tournament.
You're seeing the top 2 drivers of Ladovic, Charette, and Rogaldorn pulling away here from the rest of the pack.
Jack Haas there in the 57. Looks like he's got that thing back up to speed and not fall at the pace like Logan Williams said he still has a shot at getting around Blaine right here. He's got to get back to the inside here. He's got 10 laps to get back around that 14 machine. These guys, like I said, Daniel, they are a second and a half off Rogaldorn and Ledovic's right at this point. Ledovic's got an opportunity here at winning this race, trying to close in on the 4 machine. They've had a very good race here at the Oregon International Speedway, and they were ahead of that wreck when it occurred as well, so they're definitely the 2 best cars in the field. Blaine Keys, though, is running in 3rd and trying to extend that points lead going in the Hillside next week, trying to move on in the in-season tournament. Here comes Vinny Scholes, though, to the inside of Jack Haas. That's for the 4th position. And it's still Lauren Martinez ahead of Nicholas Samadillo and Audra Baranowskis ahead of Nathan Stapleton.
And when you think about it, you know, the 64, 57, the 14, these are drivers that need to get more points and have good finishes, and this is what is occurring right now, and this is what they desperately need today.
And Lauren Martinez is barely hanging on in the back of the field, but it looks like she's going to advance on ahead of Nicholas unless something drastic happens. Saw a lot of mechanical issues in the past few weeks of the Wawa Cup Series, and you know, these engines are a little bit better on that front, I think, than we have it set in the Wawa Cup Series, but you never know what could happen, and we still got a little ways left to go in this race. And Stapleton is a bit too far behind from Baranowskis at that point. Such a shame for Stapleton getting caught up in that one right there. And looking good for Audra Baranowskis, last year's Indy 250 champion. Looking to keep that #1 machine in contention in this in-season tournament, going up to Indy for the BodyArmor Pro Series. And she's going to have an opportunity of doing so. But the way it's looking right now, she would have to face off against Blaine Keys. And that's going to be a hard driver to beat right there. Vinny's going to go for 3rd on Blaine Keys, and Vinny Scholes with a great run here today at Oregon. We have not seen hardly anything out of Vinny Scholes this season, but here she is with an opportunity at getting her first podium of the season, getting some points as well. She is all the way back, well, she's 13th in points, so she's had a couple of decent runs. She's pointed 3 times this season, 22 total points. Holding on here to the 2nd position as Rogaldorn continues to just pull away, looking for his 2nd win of the season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series, and Ledovic's just a little bit too far behind, and you need some help in order to make a pass, and there's no one behind this 00 right now as these guys continue to battle, and Ace Garcia's chances look to be slipping right here. It's a shame for him. He had a great run. He had it ahead of Blaine most of this race. He's fallen to the back of the line right here, and it's not looking good for Ace Garcia at this point in the race as we got 4 laps to go here on the Oregon 100K.
And you knew from the previous races about the 4 Rogaldorn, you know, even though he's not had a strong season over in the Cup Series, you know, it's so good to win no matter what series you're in, because it just gives you that boost, that confidence, and that momentum for the next races coming up. And it would be so great to see this 4 win here in Oregon.
He's got to be careful around LJ Semeta right there. That was an odd entry, and that's going to allow Ledovic to close right in. Oh, she's right back in the slipstream of that 4 machine, and here we go. The race is on. Yeah. And if there's any driver that can beat Rogaldorn here, it's Ledovic Charette. She's definitely got the prowess to be able to defeat Rogaldorn on a racetrack such as this one. Still battling back here between Justin and Vinny Scholes. Blaine Key still holding on to 3rd. Ace Garcia trying to get back in line on the inside. Samadillo he's still so close to Lauren Martinez, but he just can't get to her. It's 2 laps to go here at Oregon for Rogaldorn. Ledovic's trying to find some way to the back bumper to have an opportunity of getting around him, but just can't quite get there. And that 4 machine is just on a rail right now here at the Oregon International Speedway.
In the 00, Ledovic Charette, she's getting a good corner entry, but you see how the 4 Rogaldorn just drives off on the corner exit, and that's where the 00, I think, is struggling a little bit.
White flag in the air here at Oregon for Rogaldorn. Will he get his 2nd win of the season, or will Ledovic Charette get her 1st win of the season here in the Pro Series? It is a tight battle between these 2 drivers, but the 4 has every advantage on a track such as this. Blaine Keys is in 3rd right there. It is a lot of battling. Oh no, Baranowskis almost got taken out there by the 54 of Matt Tuck, but she kept it together. That could have been huge in the in-season tournament. Rogaldorn's going to get his 2nd win of the season here at Oregon. Blaine Keys advances on. Audra Baranowskis barely advances on. And Lauren Martinez got held up right at the end, but still barely edges out Nicholas Samadillo to advance on as well. And Logan Williams, as we already knew, will defeat Andrew Miller It's going to be Blaine Keys and Audra Baranowskis and Lauren Martinez, Logan Williams facing off against each other at Hillside. But Rogaldorn doesn't care about any of that. He just got his second win of the season, and he's now got 50 total points on the year here in the BodyArmor Pro Series.
What a good race. That was an excellent race. Good job by the Fort Rogaldorn.
Very fun race. That was entertaining. He's going to be outside pole at Hillside. Logan Williams got the fastest lap here today, and that will award him the pole at Hillside, which is going to come in handy in this battle against Lauren Martinez, because Lauren's going to start all the way back in 21st. And then Blaine Keys and Audra Baranowskis. Well, looks like the one machine might have the advantage on Blaine, which is very interesting right there. Audra Baranowskis, 7th. Blaine Keys, 20th to start next week at Hillside. That's going to be interesting as you see the rest of the fastest laps right there. That's how they'll line up for the Massachusetts 100K next Monday night for the semifinal round of the in-season tournament. We had some fun there, didn't we, Daniel? That was a good race, and Rogaldorn gets a second win of the season ahead of Ludovic Charette. And I feel bad for Ace Garcia, because he did everything he could, but just could not get to Blaine there at the end. That wreck did not help Ace, because that brought Blaine right up to him, and then once Blaine had the opportunity, you knew he was going to go for it. And Blaine's going, that's his 6th top 5 of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series, and he is going to remain the points leader as Logan Williams just barely missed out on the points here after getting caught up in that wreck, but Logan will advance on. But thoughts on this one, Daniel? You said you never saw a race here before. Well, do you like this track now?
Yeah, 100%. I like this track, man. I wasn't expecting a car going flipping, but we saw that 4-wide action. That was not on my bingo card tonight, but we did see some 3-wide going on. Drivers making different moves, different lane changes. You're seeing runs develop and generate, and I thought it was a good race. I mean, it's like a super speedway, but not a super speedway, but great performance by everyone tonight.
Yeah, well, by most people. Some people didn't perform as well as they would have hoped after the accident. But everyone who finished top 10 put on a great show, especially. And Rogaldorn got the win at Willow Springs and dominated that race at the end, and then dominated this race. And that might not be the last we see of Rogaldorn this season either. I feel like Rogal's going to have a very good opportunity as the season rolls along to really have an opportunity of winning this Pro Series championship. Still a long ways left to go here in the Pro Series, though. We got a lot of great races coming up. Next week, it's Hillside, Massachusetts 100K. And you were around on the channel, Daniel, when one of the greatest moments of all time took place when Shane Lake won that Cup Series race 5 years ago. But maybe we'll see something like that next week in the BodyArmor Pro Series, and especially in regards to the in-season tournament. Hey, Dash for Cash from the Sprint Series as well is going on. We'll crown a winner next week. Of course, we got Dash for Cash here tomorrow night at Oregon. Excited to see who advances on to that one in the Sprint Series. Nathan doing a great job over there in the Her Sprint Series as always. And we're excited to see how it all goes down. And of course, this weekend we got Kansas in the Wall Cup Series. That's going to be a fun race as well. The Great Wolf Lodge 400. Hey, good luck to you, Daniel, on that one. I think you guys are going to have some strong cars there. Team Velocity-Star on Friday night. And Lights is going to be at Memphis on Saturday. So we got a lot of great stuff coming up. And hey, we're just a couple weeks away from the Indianapolis 250. Indy 250 week starts next Wednesday with the first practice session for the Indianapolis 250. It's the month of May. We're here. We're excited for it. Rogaldorn gets it done here at the Oregon International Speedway. Here are the point standings for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 8 races. You see the bracket right there. You see who advances on. It's Blaine Keys versus Audra Baranowskis. It's Lauren Martinez versus Logan Williams. Who's going to move on to the finale? We'll see next week at Hillside International Speedway. Thank you so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Rogaldorn. And on behalf of Daniel Paulus Jr., I will see you guys later.